This is Scott Becker with the Becker Private Equity and Business Podcast. These are 7 stories that we're following today, May 6th, 2024. Aside from all of the things, it's my mother's 86th birthday, and she is a rock star, so a shout out to Naomi Becker. Here are the 7 stories we're following today. First, the equity markets had a great day on Friday and point up today. This surge was due to higher unemployment reported on Friday and some softness in wage inflation and hiring inflation. And this is healthy, even though it's bad news for job seekers, of course, because it means the Fed at some point could actually move towards reducing rates. And we'll see if that is to come or not. But that was a signal that maybe inflation may at some point actually soften a little bit. Second, the NASDAQ is up nearly 9.5% this year. The S&P 500 is also up nearly 8.15%. Third, Apple jumped 6% Friday, unexpectedly good news out of Apple. Fourth, the FTC, in a continuation of the government war against the wealthy, I don't want to get political, has essentially limited the amount that you'll have in FDIC insurance for CDs and other things to $1.25 billion in trust accounts. Now, the particular limit used to be $250,000 per CD, but you could have as many CDs as you wanted and still get coverage for all of those. Now it appears that you can get 5 CDs at $250,000 and you're out of coverage. This essentially is likely to lead people back to treasuries versus putting money in banks. And in the long run, it has the potential to be very negative for banks. I thought just a fascinating thing. The fifth story we're following today, the McGuire-Woods Healthcare Private Equity Conference, now in its 20th year, kicks off at the Ritz-Carlton. That's this Wednesday, May 7th and 8th, and 8th and 9th in Chicago. If you really want to register for that and having trouble doing so, text Scott Becker at 773-766-5322. The first 3 people that contact me will give you a free registration. Again, 773-766-5322. Sixth, Expedia Group, where we book almost all of our travel, dropped nearly 16% on Friday. Finally, seventh, 3 of the business books that we're enjoying tremendously. There's one by Rob Copeland called The Fund that's about Ray Dalio's Bridgewater Associates, and just fascinating. Second, a book by Scott Galloway, the NYU professor, Doc G, whatever he calls himself, but really a bright person. He's got a book called The Algebra of Wealth. And finally, a book by Dan Martell called Buy Back Your Time. Ultimately, we're enjoying each one of those far more than I would have expected to. Just fantastic. Again, those are 7 stories we're following today at Becker Private Equity and Business Podcast. Thank you for listening to the podcast.